Welcome, vampires! Today we're exploring the Illusion Burst build, crafted for delivering explosive magic damage while keeping your enemies on their toes. The Illusion Burst build thrives on overwhelming your enemies with powerful bursts of magic. This build emphasizes control through spells that create continuous explosions and healing opportunities. With the right setup, you'll maintain high pressure on your opponents, ensuring they're constantly under threat from your potent magical abilities. Let's break down how you can achieve that. To unleash the Illusion Burst's full potential, you'll be using a combination of spells that focus on both damage and crowd control. Here's the spell setup that'll make this build shine. Void serves as your primary method of dealing substantial damage to groups of enemies. When cast, this spell summons an orb that detonates at the target location, inflicting heavy magic damage and pulling enemies inward. Pairing Void with its dual modifiers can expand its area of effect and increase the damage output, ensuring no enemy escapes its reach. The added explosive fragments make sure the damage continues, making Void a formidable choice for keeping your foes clustered and vulnerable. Mosquito isn't just about damage, it's a versatile spell that attracts enemies, weakening them before exploding. This explosion not only inflicts weaken, but also causes fear, sending enemies into disarray. The dual modifier that causes Mosquito to split into 3 healing orbs is essential for this build. This ensures that you stay healthy while your enemies are caught in the blast, making Mosquito a key component of your offensive and defensive strategies. Veil of Illusion is your primary mobility tool, allowing you to reposition quickly while inflicting weaken on your next attack. This spell is perfect for closing gaps, dodging attacks, or setting up for your next move. With the right dual modifiers, Veil of Illusion becomes even more potent, offering options to deal damage, shield yourself, or extend the duration of your evasion. Learning to time this spell effectively will greatly enhance your ability to stay in control. Wisp Dance is your trump card for when the situation becomes intense. This ultimate spell summons 3 wisps that orbit around you, dealing damage, leeching health, and weakening foes. The real strength of Wisp Dance comes when you recast it, launching the wisps as piercing projectiles. This ability allows you to clear out large groups of enemies with a single move, making it invaluable for those moments when you need to regain control. The effectiveness of the Illusion Burst build heavily relies on the gear you choose. You'll want to prioritize armor and jewelry that enhance your spell power, critical strike chance, and overall effectiveness in casting spells. Here's what to look for. Focus on boosting your spell power. Higher spell power means each of your magical abilities will hit harder, making it easier to wipe out groups of enemies or take down stronger opponents. Seek out armor pieces that provide significant boost to spell power to maximize your damage potential. Spell critical strike chance is equally important. Increasing this stat means your spells will have a higher chance to deal critical damage, which can be the difference between a normal hit and a devastating blow. Look for jewelry that enhances your critical strike chance, as well as items that inflict weaken, further reducing your enemy's ability to fight back. Together, these enhancements will ensure that your spells are as powerful as possible, allowing you to maintain control over any encounter. By balancing spell power and spell critical strike chance, you'll be well equipped to handle any challenge that comes your way. For the Illusion Burst build, the Crossbow is your weapon of choice. Its abilities perfectly complement the fast-paced, high-damage nature of this build. Here's how to make the most out of your Crossbow. The primary skill of the Crossbow allows you to deal consistent damage while benefiting from increased attack speed and additional damage stacks. This makes it ideal for sustained damage output, especially when used in tandem with your spells. Rain of Bolts is particularly useful for initiating engagements. This skill releases a barrage of bolts that rain down on enemies, marking them and setting them up for your other spells. Combining this with your Void's pull effect maximizes your area damage potential. Snapshot offers quick, reliable damage and an interrupt effect, perfect for disrupting enemies while keeping your damage output steady. Use it between spell casts to maintain pressure and control during fights. The legendary Crossbow is especially potent in this build. It synergizes well with your illusion spells, amplifying their effectiveness and making your burst potential even greater. When it comes to blood type, Scholar is your best bet for the illusion burst build. Scholar Blood provides a perfect balance of power and utility, giving you the tools you need to dominate your enemies. Here's why it works so well. The spell power boost provided by Scholar Blood type enhances the potency of royal spells, ensuring each one delivers maximum impact. This is crucial for maintaining the high damage output that defines the illusion burst build. The increased cooldown recovery rate allows you to cast your spells more frequently, keeping your enemies constantly under pressure. Faster cooldowns mean more opportunities to unleash your devastating combos. Spell Life Leech is another vital aspect of Scholar Blood, helping you stay alive during prolonged fights. By siphoning health with each spell cast, you can sustain yourself even when surrounded by enemies. The chance to reset spell cooldowns on cast adds an element of unpredictability to your fights, allowing you to chain spells together more effectively. This can turn the tide of battle, giving you the upper hand when it's needed most. With Scholar Blood, you'll have the increased spell power, reduced cooldowns, and life leech necessary to maintain a relentless offensive, making it the ideal choice for this build. The true strength of the Illusion Burst build lies in its ability to chain spells and attacks together for maximum impact. By combining your abilities in the right order, you can unleash a devastating barrage of magic that leaves your enemies with little chance of survival. Here's a powerful combo to get you started. Begin with the Crossbow's Rain of Bolts to mark and snare your enemies, creating the perfect setup for your next move. Follow up with Void, casting it twice in the same area to maximize its damage and pull effect. This will gather your enemies into a tight group, making them easier to target with your other abilities. Next, cast Mosquito in the same spot. If you have the Jewel modifier that splits the explosion into 3 healing orbs, you'll not only deal significant damage, but also heal yourself, keeping you in the fight longer. Use Veil of Illusion to dash into the fray, killing from the orbs and weakening any remaining enemies. Recast Veil of Illusion to return to your original position, gaining distance and setting up for the next attack. If the situation becomes overwhelming, activate Wisp Dance. The wisps will orbit around you, dealing continuous damage and leeching health. When ready, recast Wisp Dance to launch the wisps as piercing projectiles, clearing out any remaining threats. Throughout the fight, make sure to use Snapshot between your spellcasts to maintain steady damage and keep your enemies disrupted. To truly master the Illusion Burst build, you'll need to keep a few key strategies in mind. Here are some tips to help you get the most out of this powerful setup. First, maximize your spell power. Make sure to prioritize gear that boosts your spell power. The more spell power you have, the harder your spells will hit, making it easier to take down enemies quickly and efficiently. Second, use Veil of Illusion wisely. Veil of Illusion is more than just a mobility tool. Use it to dive into battle, kill from the orbs created by Mosquito, and then reposition yourself for your next attack. Timing this ability correctly will help you stay out of danger while dealing consistent damage. Third, strategic use of Mosquito. Mosquito is a key part of your healing strategy. Place it where it will hit most enemies to maximize its effectiveness. With the right Jewel modifier, you'll gain health while your enemies are caught in the blast. Fourth, adapt to different fights. No two battles are the same. Adjust your spell rotation based on the situation at hand. If you're facing a large group, focus on AoE spells like Void and Wisp Dance. For tougher single targets, use your Crossbow and Mosquito to whittle them down with sustained damage. Lastly, experiment with gear. Finding the perfect gear setup can take some time, so don't be afraid to experiment. Try different combinations of armor and jewelry to see what works best for your playstyle. Focus on items that enhance your spell power, critical strike chance, and ability to inflict weaken on your enemies. And that wraps up the Illusion Burst build. With the right spells, gear, and strategies, you'll be able to dominate any encounter with explosive magic and relentless pressure. If this guide helped you, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more V-Rising content. Share your thoughts and experiences with this build in the comments below. And remember, have fun, stay deadly, and keep rising.